The only perfect phone is the one that you hold, because you're going to determine whether it's perfect or not. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So in this video, I've got 5 things total. A couple of them are mine that I already spoke of, but these are the 5 things that people have pointed out over and over and over again in the comments of all the LG V60 videos. And let's go ahead and tackle them right now in this particular video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the screen resolution. Now this phone does not have a high refresh rate. It doesn't have a Quad HD display. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Quad HD display. Now it doesn't have one, but I feel like this phone still is beautiful, and it does have an OLED display, and it is 1080p, but it's still more than enough resolution for everybody out there. Some people feel like this phone has to have a Quad HD display because it's a flagship device. Well, no doubt this phone is a flagship device, but it is beautiful at 1080p OLED. I think a lot of people are really beating that horse up. This phone does not need a Quad HD display. And I think LG knows that, which is why they went this route. It just doesn't need a Quad HD display. 1080p OLED is more than enough. Which leads me to my next thing on the list, high refresh rate. So many people are saying if it's a 1080p, it should have at least been 90 hertz. Folks, you don't need 90 hertz. You don't need 120 hertz. Those are just things that the industry's direction is going to move in. And in fact, the industry moved there 2-3 years ago. All of a sudden, now that Samsung has it on their device, everybody has to have it, and it's the standard. Folks, listen, I'm not going to say it's hypocritical, but what I will say, you can't just say something is good because you like the brand. I'm not loyal to any brand. I like them all. I like Samsung, LG, Motorola. I like them all, Apple. But the fact that this phone doesn't have a quote-unquote high refresh rate doesn't mean it's a bad display or it's bad quality. You've got to get out of your mind that this phone's display is not bad, it's not good because it doesn't have a 90 hertz or 120 hertz refresh rate display. You don't need those things, you want those things, and you're starting to feel, some people are starting to feel entitled just because this is labeled a flagship that is supposed to have it. Doesn't need it. Doesn't need it whatsoever. If you feel like that, go find another phone that has one and buy it. So I can tell you, I have the 120 hertz refresh rate on the Galaxy S20 Plus, and it's fantastic. But if it didn't have it, I don't think I would care. That's the truth. So one thing I pointed out, which is the next thing, is this old design. This is an old design, folks. This design is played out. Now, I pointed this out in another video. LG with the little cutout at the top and just this whole front look right here. Even this design on the back, some of you guys are saying, Jay, that looks like the S10 Plus. I have no argument to that. You're absolutely right. But this, I can deal with. This should not be here on such a gorgeous and powerful device. If you can avoid it. LG has their own reasoning for doing this. But I gotta tell you, this leads into my next thing. No Face ID. So, because think about the G8, and I don't know if people are saying this because of the G8. Think about the G8. It has facial recognition, like real facial recognition. They didn't even go with the 2D facial recognition. I don't know why. And I haven't been pointing out, quote unquote, what you would consider negatives, because I'm enjoying the device and they don't outweigh the pros. You feel me? So yeah, it doesn't have facial recognition. Yeah, it would have been nice to have it, but you've got fingerprint reader in the screen, you got your passcode, and it works. So move on. You got to move on, folks. The last thing, and this is something else that I pointed out that I didn't like about the phone, was the size of the phone. This phone is huge. This phone has a 6.8-inch display, but it is a big phone, man. This is a massive, massive phone, like the footprint of the phone, not the display. because I've got a 6.8 display and it's smaller than this. I've got a 6.7, it's much smaller. I've got pretty much all the screen sizes right now. This is the biggest phone that I have. The biggest. Folks, this is a chunky phone. It is. But it has this great sloping design. Nonetheless, this phone feels great in the hand. However, it's just a big clunky device. There's no getting around it. And then when you add that second screen, it's even bigger. See it for what it is. So by no means am I saying this phone is perfect. The only perfect phone is the one that you hold, because you're going to determine whether it's perfect or not. So with these smartphone reviews, with these cell phone reviews, with these reviews on YouTube, period, only take what me as a reviewer, I try to be as honest as possible. I try to, because I owe it to you to be honest. Not because I'm trying to stand out from the crowd. I just want to be honest and give you what I consider to be honesty. You know what I'm saying? So this phone, the reason these things don't mean anything to me is because I have a headphone jack. I have a very low price when compared to all the devices that people keep bringing up. Like the main competitor for this phone, I think people think it's the iPhone, or not the iPhone, the S20 lineup. That's the only people that keep bringing the Ultra. Oh my gosh, the Ultra people. Not all. The ones that are in their feelings because this phone is actually great. There are actually some Ultra owners that say, you know what, I'm getting ready to buy it, man. Why not? My S20 Plus costs $1,200. This costs $800. This is a no-brainer. I'm running the S20 Plus at 120 Hz 1080p, so I'm basically just running it 1080p. Why would I complain about the refresh rate? Why would I complain about the resolution of the display? I don't really care. This phone is a win, and I'm hearing a lot of chatter about people saying that it's trashed by other websites and stuff like that. Folks, I know it's just entertainment, and I know people like to be entertained, and I've said it before. People don't want the truth, they want to be entertained, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with you being entertained. But on this channel, I'm going to try to entertain you and give you the truth. So if you're in the know, you're in the know. And that's just what it is. This is a great phone. I offer it up in my opinion about it. I think it's fantastic. And I think you should check it out. So there you have it. I said it. For those that think I wasn't going to address it, pros and cons, this phone is nowhere near flawless. I got a video that's going to post, if it's not already up, versus the S20 Plus and the cameras. It's not a landslide, folks. Spoiler alert. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Let me fade out like I always fade. Remember I used to fade out like this?